shutdown is having a ripple effect on services to the community, which includes local food banks. Experts say we're seeing the highest food insecurity in decades, and the demand is only expected to increase as federal employees and military personnel start missing more paychecks.
Michael Flood is the president and CEO of the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank, and he joins us now to talk about what this all means for local food assistance. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
And you know, there was a photo that went viral of service members standing in line at a food pantry, not here in California, somewhere else. But are you seeing that here?
We're seeing federal workers starting to come in because they're missing paychecks. You know, there are thousands of workers at LAX, TSA employees who are working without pay. And we're starting to see it, and our network of agencies. We serve about 600 other nonprofit and faith-based organizations throughout Los Angeles County.
Yeah, and take us through what you've seen this year. Of course, we had the LA wildfires, which impacted a lot of people and sent them your way. We're constantly talking about stories on rising cost of inflation and people struggling to pay for basic needs. So this is just adding to what you were probably already seeing.
It's been a really challenging year, right, starting in January with the wildfires, and those ripple effects are still happening. The economic ripple effects, both in the Eaton fire and on the West Side Palisades in Malibu, Topanga areas, you know, the economic fallout, small business, people losing jobs. And yes, cost of living, that's been with us for a while, and it's still getting worse. We're all seeing it, right, with grocery prices and other things. So with this, people going without pay, people being laid off, being furloughed, it almost feels like the beginning of another little pandemic. I hate to say that, but where demand once again increases markedly. And we could see that in November, even though Social Security will be going out. Programs like the CalFresh program, WIC, those benefits likely will not be going out in November if this shutdown continues. And that will impact really tens of thousands of people here locally, throughout the Southland and throughout the United States.
So you mentioned if the shutdown continues, you know, what are your greatest concerns? Can you keep up with the demand? Do you have enough food to feed all of these people?
Most of our food comes from private sources. USDA plays a role, so that's a worry for us. But fortunately, most of our support and volunteer support and other support is coming privately. What we do is step up and purchase food, right? Augment the donated food with purchases during times like this. And we have started to do that to try to be prepared. What we'll likely see in November if this continues is larger distributions to augment what our agency partners, food pantries and meal programs are doing, again, to try to get help to people who need that help.
Sure, and I would imagine you're seeing people from demographics you wouldn't usually see coming in for help, working class people who we probably think make a decent wage, who still need some help. Who's eligible for food assistance and what can people do if they need it?
Yeah, for most programs, especially during times of, let's call it disaster, whether it's natural or man-made, it's really anyone who comes. So, you know, we want to really be on the side of, you know, people, while their tax return may say something, they're in a situation where most of us can't go without missing one or two paychecks. Huge issue, right? Got rent to pay, we have other bills to pay. So during those times, we want to do what we can to serve people who need that help.
And if people are watching who are in the position to help, be it volunteer or maybe a local business who wants to donate stuff, how can they help you guys?
Yeah, for us here locally, lafoodbank.org, covering Los Angeles County, the ways to volunteer, donate. Also, you can find food. You can find where these sites are throughout LA County. Of course, call 211. That's another for those that don't have internet access. But there's lots of ways both to help and find ways to seek help.
All right. Well, Michael, I know you got a big job on your hands. Thank you so much for joining us this morning to talk about this great need. For more information on the LA Regional Food Bank, you can check out our website, cbsla.com.